you are traumatized by your whole so-called civilization. The DA has received funding from, among others, the National Endowment for Democracy, which is regarded correctly as a wing of the CIA.
That there is a base here which can flatten South Africa in less than no time if America decides to fight with us.
Has a clear path to getting into national government.
Well, that brings us to the Democratic Alliance, which is a radically neoliberal, Western-aligned, elitist political party of colonizer collaborators. The DA has a close relationship with the Israeli and the British governments, and an extremely close relationship with the Americans. And I don't think that there's any reason to not view the DA as a hostile actor in South Africa. Because to be advocating for neoliberal policies in South Africa today, you have to be either insane or insidious. You have to either not understand the devastating impact that these policies have had on the society and on the economy for the last 30 years, or you have to want that devastation. I believe that the West knew, America knew, that the ANC was losing its grip on power, and if they lost their grip on power, then that meant that there was a danger that South Africa itself might slip from the grasp of neoliberal control. There are parties vying for power who actually genuinely oppose neoliberalism and who approach politics and governance from a position of principle, which is championing for the nationalization of key economic sectors. So to offset that, the West needed to ensure that their interests would prevail. And they threw their support, therefore, behind the DA to infiltrate the government, ironically to prevent regime change in South Africa, which is the opposite of what they normally do, without causing unnecessary conflict. I think that it would be immensely beneficial for South Africa to nationalize the mining sector. This is a no-brainer, in my opinion. If the mining sector had been nationalized 30 years ago, why South Africa would have a sovereign wealth fund today that would have that would rival the UAE or Saudi Arabia or Qatar. So in my opinion, the ANC DA government is a government united against the people of South Africa, in my opinion. And their solidarity, the GNU solidarity, is with parasitic, predatory, colonizing Western private sector power, not solidarity with their own citizens. You should view this government, this GNU, as essentially a colonial regime, because the GNU poses a grave and imminent threat to socioeconomic justice in South Africa, in my opinion. And that's coming at a time when South Africa is already grappling with catastrophic socioeconomic injustice already. Now, that's not to say that people should approach it with hostility, but they should know that the government is itself approaching them with hostility. Power actually rests in the private sector, not in the government. Politicians are just decoys to divert attention away from the unelected owners and controllers of global financialized capital who remain unaccountable, but who remain in charge. The people ultimately actually are more powerful than the government. The people are actually more powerful than the private sector elites, which is why the ultimate bargaining tactic or negotiating tactic used by the government and used by the private sector is to make the people think that they're powerless. The ANC, for instance, used to stand for something. We know you're better than this. We know you're better than this. So let's reaffirm our shared commitment to equality, to justice, to fairness, and to the upliftment of our people. Now, having said all of that, none of this applies to the Democratic Alliance. None of this applies to the DA, unfortunately. They're not a party that's based on values, and they don't have a track record as being a party that's based on values. Thus, I would say that every realistic and strategic effort should be made to discredit the DA and to sever their so-called alliance with the ANC until the DA is no longer a political party in South Africa, but a political pariah. You have to begin. You begin with the recognition that the stance of the West towards Africa is entrenched and unchanging.
Free! Freedom! Are you free or are you not? Freedom.
The source of your problem isn't in you, it's all around you. And that's why they want to keep you navel-gazing, you know? Pay a therapist so they can make you think that the one who's sick is you and not your society.